Hi there, Terry Slater here. I wanted to come in here today and have a quick chat with you about goal setting for your finances. And one of the reasons that I think that it's really important to do some goal setting is so that you can be intentional with your money. And the reason I say that is intentionality is something that I like to focus on in just my day-to-day life. And let me explain for you what I mean by that. I don't know about you, but have you ever come home at the end of the day and you sit down on the couch and you open up your phone and you start scrolling through posts and you look over and maybe the kids have got their phones out and they're scrolling through posts. And by the time bedtime comes around, you haven't looked at each other, you haven't had a meaningful conversation at the end of the day. I don't like that. And so I try to be very intentional with my time. And so I'm also intentional with my money. And that is what helped to get us out of debt over the course of the many years that it took us to get out of debt. But we were very intentional about it. So I want to just talk really quickly about sort of high level goal setting. So you can have different types of goals. The duration of them, they can be like long-term, mid-term, short-term. I like to think of short-term as anything you want to do within a year or save up for or pay off or something like that. Midterm is going to be kind of like a 1 to 5 year, and then 5 years or more is generally looked at as long term. And so it's okay to run more than one goal at the same time, but you have to understand that when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to slow down the progress on, one or two of those goals. Like if you have just one goal and you hit it hard and that's all you're focusing on, you can blast through it. But if you've got competing goals, maybe you're trying to save for retirement and save for college, right? Probably in it for the long game on both of those, depending on, where you are and how old your kids are. But those two competing goals means that, you're going to be putting a little bit here and a little bit there. And so it just doesn't stack up as fast. That's okay though. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Also, when you have some goals, you want to make sure that you're setting some parameters around it. It's one thing to say, I want to save up for a down payment for a house, but what does that really look like? And so one of the things that you have to do is you have to really look at, okay, what's my timeline, right? This is where you're getting into SMART goals. They're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So if you've got a year, let's say you've got a year that you want to save $15,000 for a down payment, you take that $15,000 and divide it by 12, and now you know that $1,250 is your monthly savings goal in order to hit that. Okay, so sometimes you can look at that number after you've just done that little bit of math and let that sink in. And is that going to be easy for you to do or not? And if not, that's when you have to start making decisions about how am I going to tactically do this, right? Am I going to work more so that I can bring in more income, take a side job, work overtime? Or am I going to eat, ramen noodles and mac and cheese for the next year, cut down my lifestyle so that I can save some money in the budget there? So once you kind of break those goals down into being very tangible and tactical, then you know what steps are necessary in order to make that happen. Some goals are not as tangible, right? So sometimes you might have a goal to improve your credit score, and that might be a little bit harder to quantify. What are the steps that it takes to get there? But you can definitely figure out what those steps would be. Working with a financial coach can help as well. We can help you identify, what type of things on your credit report have the greater impact, and how to work towards improving that score, in the short term or long term as well. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about setting those goals and breaking them into tangible, practical steps as well. And if you do have a really great goal that you're working towards, I know sometimes it can help a lot to be able to see it and see what your progress looks like. And so my friend Heidi over at Debt Free Charts has created some really fantastic charts that you can color in so that you can see your progress, right? It's like kind of like filling up the thermometer as you put more towards that goal. You can see it and visualize it. Hang that on your refrigerator, hang it on a wall, share it with friends, share it with your family. That way everybody kind of gets on board and really starts to root you on as well too. So I'm going to post a link below so that you can find those debt-free charts. She's got a lot of them that you can download for free, and I'd encourage you to do that so that you can really start to see what your progress looks like as well too. Post any questions or comments that you have for me below as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.